Yeah. Welcome to the Loser's Bench. I'm Chris. This is Natalie. And today we're going to talk about our actual trip to Tijuana, Mexico.
Tijuana.
And how great of an experience it was.
Yeah.
Because I still honestly feel like I don't know why people were worried about it.
No, and I think a lot of people have a lot of prejudices against Tijuana. They think it's some third world country, and it's not at all like that. I mean, it's a very beautiful place. It's probably a city you would see here. It's not like shacks and huts. That's not how it is, and I think that's what a lot of people think of.
Yeah, a lot of people think of that. So, obviously, if you've been following us along, you know that we chose Dr. Altamirano Cano, and he was the best.
Yeah.
We love him. He is family now, and we were just very fortunate. We knew a lot of people, and they kind of helped steer us in the direction of actually going to Mexico to begin with.
Yeah.
And then we knew a lot of people that went to see Dr. Altamirano, which was good because he was, just the best. So I brought a couple things down too to kind of show you guys what to look forward to or what to expect, kind of what to bring with you.
A lot of these items were lifesavers when we were in the hospital and as we were trying to go through the gas pains, and so a lot of these I'd highly recommend bringing with you for surgery.
So we'll just talk about these real quick, and then we'll get into surgery day all the way up until today. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
So one of the first things you can do, this has got beef and chicken in it, but these are just bouillon cubes. Whichever one is best for you, it doesn't matter. We got these. Our friend Alex had a bunch left over, and she was like, "Oh, I didn't need it all, so you guys take some with you." So that's what we did.
And as you can tell, we didn't quite go through them all either.
Yeah, no, we probably had maybe 6 out of the entire thing, maybe. I don't know. This I'll talk about in just a minute. Some people say these don't work. Some people say they do. How do you feel?
I thought they worked, and I mean, we knew a lot of people that had the little tablets, that dissolved under their tongue or whatever, and they said that those didn't work, but the strips worked. Yeah. So, but I think it's different for everybody.
And I don't think you can find these anymore. Like, I want to say that this is something that's maybe not available.
It's definitely not on the shelf. Yeah. I know that we found ours through Amazon.
Yeah, we found some on Amazon, but Alice gave us these too.
Oh, yeah. But those are the only places that we found them. I think she ordered hers off of Amazon as well. So,
and they weren't cheap on Amazon either. I mean, they were like $19, I think, a box. There's 18 of them in here, so you're like $1 a strip.
That's pretty pricey.
But that's something you can get. If you don't want to get them, don't get them. And I would assume that there's a lot of people that go down there and don't use them.
I mean, when you're in the hospital, they're giving you like gas.
Well, no, they're giving you stuff for nausea, but the walking, because the gas isn't in your stomach per se, which I guess is what this goes after. It's in your abdomen cavity.
But I thought they gave you some sort of, maybe it was just for pain medication because of the gas. Yeah. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
I can't remember. It was pain and nausea and something else. I don't remember. And maybe antibiotic? I don't know.
We did have antibiotics. I do remember them giving us that.
I can't remember. All right, so then an extension cord. Definitely want those. So that's those so far.
You don't want to be charging your phone next to the wall.
Yep. Bring your phone charger, your laptop charger, whatever it is you're going to be using for your communication.
I will tell you that the Wi-Fi. Yeah, not so great.
It was okay in my room in certain spots.
Yeah, but in my room it was horrendous.
Awful.
Like, I could barely get on Facebook. So
we didn't actually get these until we got home, but I would suggest getting these and bringing them with you. The reason I say that is these are gentle pads. They're large Band-Aids. You've got your 4 or 5 incisions, or 6. It just depends on what you had done.
Yeah.
And not to freak anybody out, you get 6 if you've got. Most people are getting 5 incisions anyways, and then you get an extra one if you're getting your gallbladder taken out. So but anyways, these are plenty big for all of your incisions. You really could get the little ones and get away with it, but these are gentle. And they're good for sensitive skin. They're ultra soft, and they come off easy, which is huge to me, because one thing I learned is that they don't shave your stomach before surgery. So while that wasn't a problem for Natalie, it was definitely a problem for me. And oh man, pulling those Band-Aids off the first 2 days that we got out of the hospital. Pulling the tape off was awful in the hospital.
Yeah.
But then pulling the Band-Aids off that me and you had actually brought with us.
Yeah, I mean, even though I don't have a hairy stomach or anything, but the Band-Aids themselves still irritated my skin. I mean, it hurt to keep replacing the Band-Aids in the same spots. I ended up with red marks on my stomach for a while.
So there's 10 that come in this box, and the box is not that bad. I wanted to say it was like $3 or $4. There's 10 that come in the box. We got these at CVS too. I would probably suggest getting, if you're just by yourself, you got 4 incisions. You're going to be there out of the hospital for 2 days, technically, Sunday and Monday. Some people say, oh, I just aired them out after Sunday, they were fine, which, I mean, I guess is fine. If it works for some people, it works. And we aired ours out a lot too, but one place I did not air it out for sure was on the airplane.
No.
I'm not airing nothing out on an airplane.
No, there's no telling what's in that recycled air.
And I can breathe it. That's fine. I can deal with that, but I don't want a fresh cut getting whatever in there on it. So
yeah, we were definitely covered up on the airplane.
And then this is a heating pad. It's a Sunbeam one.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got from Walmart.
For gas.
I want to say it was like $17. This right here makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And there's not anybody I've met that says that this didn't help. So this is definitely important. You want to bring something like this, because it relieves so much gas pain. But still, the number one thing to do is get up and walk.
Yeah.
Especially once you can start drinking, because it's like when you start drinking the chicken broth and stuff like that you get at the hospital, it'll start pushing out the gas. It'll help push out the gas in your body, and it's just I can't say enough things about the heating pad. I slept with it on my stomach, and
that first night.
Yeah, some people lay on it
awesome.
because they get gas pains in their back
and in their shoulders and stuff like that. But mine was all like in my rib cage, like oh god, it was that first night. It was kind of painful, but I put the heating pad on and it like dissipated. It was great.
The other things I brought down were the Premier Protein shakes, and these are just 4 of the flavors. There's 5, at least there's only 5 that I know of. The other one is bananas and cream, but that's my favorite, and so that's my go-to, so that's the one I drink a lot. Natalie's favorite, I think, is what? Caramel. So I'm okay. The chocolate, I'm not a fan of the chocolate. I think the chocolate is too chalky. But the strawberry banana is good. The vanilla is pretty good. The caramel is good, and the caramel actually kind of reminds me of coffee. But I think because I'm thinking of like a caramel.
Yeah, well, I heard a lot of people do say that, and maybe that's why I prefer it so much, because I can't drink coffee right now. So.
Yeah.
But.
Well, I mean, the bananas and cream, get that. It's really good, and since we did it together, it worked for us. But we would take 1 chocolate and 1 bananas and cream, and we would mix them together. I'd pour a little bit into one glass, a little bit out of the chocolate into that glass, and we'd have chocolate covered bananas. So I mean,
they kept it interesting.
Yeah, you just gotta, sometimes you gotta change it up a little bit or whatever, and kind of make it work for you. So those are some things we brought. Here's another thing I heard about these. These are clear protein, 20 grams Premier Protein drinks. They've got 160 milligrams of sodium, 1 gram of carbohydrate, 20 grams of protein, and they're 90 calories. It's a 16.9 ounce bottle. I'm guessing these would count towards your fluid for the day.
They do.
Right? So
yeah, they do.
These count towards your fluid, and you're getting protein in. You really can't go wrong. And a lot of people don't like them, but I will tell you, we tried some stuff from GNC before I actually cracked one of these open, just because we were there one day and they had these little drinks on sale.
The IsoPure.
IsoPure. Oh my God, it was
awful.
The grossest thing. I couldn't even drink.
I've heard a lot of good things about them, and I see a lot of people drinking IsoPure, and more power to you. But we thought it was just terrible, like really bad.
We had blue raspberry and like a fruit punch, and I mean, the bottle was cool. It was like a Snapple bottle. When you open it, it was like, but other than that, it was crap.
Yeah, I did not like it.
So last thing I'll talk about is this right here, because this is you're going to have to take this long term. I think our doctor said 4 months.
Yeah, minimum of 4 months.
Yeah. So
longer if you feel you need it.
Yeah, this is like a...
I mean, it protects your stomach.
It's a protective coating, but it's a... What do you call it? Like an antacid too, I think.
Yes, it is supposed to help with reflux.
That shows you how well I know, because I'm like not even looking into what omeprazole is, but I'm just like, oh, I gotta take it. I'll just take it. Could be crack. I don't know. Doesn't taste very great sometimes, because these are capsules. You can actually see. You take 2 of them. I don't know if you can see this or not. This little brown and tan capsule. You take 2 of them. Did you take yours this morning?
I am going to take mine in the evenings, because in the mornings I'm too rushed. In the evenings I'll be able to eat my dinner, and then I can take my medicine before I go to bed. That way I'll remember it, because in the mornings I'll forget it.
Okay, maybe I'll try to set it. I think it'd be better to take them in the morning, though, because you got to protect your stomach throughout the day, right?
Yeah, it'll protect it.
Oh, from the night until the next day?
Yeah,
well, maybe.
Overnight to the next day until I take it again.
Don't take our advice either. We are literally we're winging this. Yeah. We don't know. I mean, it may be the best to take it at night.
Once a day, but it doesn't recommend a specific time, so I figured nighttime, I'm going to remember to take it. Daytime or in the morning, I may not. So it's safer for me to take it at night.
Well, and 2,
so at least I'm getting it in.
You're taking this twice a day for like the first 2 weeks.
Yes, for the first 2 weeks. So, you do have to take 4 capsules, 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening, every 12 hours.
This thing says $309.10 for a bottle. That's got to be pesos.
That's probably pesos, yeah.
So here's another good thing about this. Some people down there, we won't say names, but some people down there will try to tell you that these are $17 a bottle. They are not. If you go to, when you stay at the Real Inn, across the street is, when you come out the front door, you'll see the big center. It's a big roundabout. There's a big statue in the center. To the left of that roundabout, you're going to see a Caramax, I think it's called. Caramax. It's
like a supermarket.
It's a supermarket in Tijuana.
But they have a pharmacy.
They have a pharmacy, and if you go over there, they speak a little bit of English. So and everything you buy from the grocery store too, they automatically at the register they'll ask you the pesos or dollars, and it converts it all to dollars for you. So these are omeprazole 20 milligrams, 60 capsules per bottle. Okay, you can buy them in a 2-pack for $5.25.
Yeah, for 2 bottles.
Yeah, for 2 bottles, and $5.25.
We were told $17.99 per bottle.
Yeah, so $17 a bottle versus $5.25 for 2 bottles.
If you don't go with Dr. Altamirano, and so you don't end up at the Real Inn, I mean,
these are going to be at any pharmacy.
If you decide to go out and walk around, go somewhere that has a pharmacy and get them yourself. Because I mean, I'm not sure.
Save yourself some money.
Yeah, I don't.
And then get enough to bring back with you.
Yeah, that's what we did. We stocked up for at least the 4-month supply because it was so much cheaper.
I hope we don't get in trouble by customs.
Mexico. No.
We told them we had medicine. They didn't even check, though.
No.
We just told them we had
medicine.
the
driver did say that we had medicine.
But I mean,
but they didn't.
They didn't check or anything like that. So, but this is what you want to get: omeprazole. It's good stuff. And this, I can't say enough about this. Like, this tastes so much better than Isopure. It's like a Crystal Light with a protein shake inside of it. Yeah. But you don't taste the protein.
No.
I will say though, don't let it get warm at all, because once it gets warm, then it gets like
cold. Drink these extremely cold and drink this extremely cold. I don't know if it's just because it's chock full of protein. It's not.
It's
good
almost like
if
gritty.
It's warm. Yeah.
Right. It's like a gritty.
It's like I don't know. Thick.
And those are good over ice too. Those are like the caramel will kind of be like an iced really coffee, good. Right? I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You could do that.
So there you go. You've got it. You've got everything that we. So here's some other things we suggest. A small fan. Yes. Natalie's room was really warm. My room was really cold, which is good for me. Not so good for her.
You may want to bring a few extra pairs of the compression socks.
Yep,
they do provide you a pair in the hospital, and you can just use those while you're there. But we had brought in a couple extra pair.
Yeah, and I got those on Amazon. I think I got 3 pair for like $15.
Yeah, they're not expensive.
And I know it sounds like, because I'm listening to myself and I'm like, oh, these were like $17. Those socks were $15. I know it sounds like a lot. It's really not, because if you think about it, your budget is fixing to be opened up a little bit because you don't have the food cost that you had before you went. So let me just look over my my little list. I had a list of stuff that I had put together for somebody else. Extension cord, heating pad, small fan, gas stick strips. You can bring a thermos, but we brought a thermos. We never used it because pretty much everywhere you go, they'll give you hot water.
Yeah.
And when if you go with Dr. Altamirano, part of his package is going to the and Cervantes too, Dr. Cervantes, because the other couple was there with Cervantes.
Oh, at the Real Inn.
Yeah, they go to the Real Inn too, and at the Real Inn you get a complimentary meal for the patient, and 2 complimentary meals, or 3 a day or whatever it is.
It's 2 a day.
Is it 2 a day? I can't remember, but either way, whatever you need, trust me, it's complimentary at the hotel.
I mean, just
but
tell
it's
them
literally
that you want
it's broth,
bariatric special.
2 really bad popsicles. One of them wasn't bad; it was a lemon, but the other one was brown, and it tasted like brown. And then you get apple juice, a little jug of apple juice, and what else did you get? You got chicken broth, popsicles, apple juice. Oh, and a bottle of water.
Oh yeah, you did.
That's what
get
it was.
water.
But go down to the restaurant and get that onion soup, dog, because that was off the chain.
What was it, $3?
Yeah, it was $3
or something. And it's big, and they'll give you a little cup that you can take the rest of it.
We're gonna reach out to Sarah and find out too.
But
she went and got us some
good.
lobster or seafood soups thing. Oh my! I would eat it right now.
It was a seafood broth.
Oh my God, it was so good. Muy caliente too. It was so good, and it didn't upset my stomach. Did it upset your stomach?
No, it did have spices in it, and it never bothered us.
Okay, so let me move forward. So compression socks, Natalie said. Electrolyte Gatorade packets. Those are optional. You could bring them with you if you want.
You get a lot of you get Gatorade at the hospital. You get water and stuff like that. And then at the hotel, you get apple juice.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much are covered. And plus, you're probably going to want to buy a bottle of something. So just get yourself a Gatorade.
Yeah, so I wouldn't worry about.
No. Large Band-Aids with alcohol swabs. I would definitely do that because you want to clean the wound.
Clean them.
And then put the Band-Aid on. Oh, a very important thing that if in the last video we talked about how beautiful the people of at least Tijuana were. There were a lot of good-looking people walking around there. I'm not going to lie to you.
It's crazy. They are beautiful.
Super good. It's not crazy that people are beautiful. What's crazy is that they're all located, like, right there.
Yeah.
I felt like every couple was like a poster couple. I just kept thinking to myself, golly, you're good-looking. But they don't have washcloths at the hotels.
No, they
or
don't.
At the
hotel.
The hospital.
Oh, the hospital and the hotel. Neither one of them.
So bring yourself. I would bring a loofah. Loofahs are easy to use. Put a little body lotion on them, whatever, you're good. Forget about it, So that was my list. So that's what I would bring if I was you. Don't forget, men, shave your stomach. You're definitely going to want to take care of that before you go, because
Chris
I went
was
through
in
some
a lot
pain.
of pain.
Yeah. All right, so we had our surgery January 12th, 2018. Mm-hmm. We got pretty well prepared.
Yeah.
I think beforehand, we did the 2-week pre-op diet, and we were real stringent on the 2-week pre-op diet. Natalie more than I.
I really didn't want that 5th incision.
But it happened.
Got it anyways.
Yeah. So and like Dr. A, just like you said.
He was like, it took you 30 years of eating bad to get the liver that you've got. 2 weeks of pre-op diet. It's not going to fix your liver. So he said it's more common to get a 5th incision than it's not. I mean, it's uncommon to just get 4, because at our size and lifestyle, large liver is.
I was expecting 10 incisions.
I know.
They could have cut me. It could have been Edward Scissorhands doing work on my stomach. I would have known. I'd be like, oh, that's normal. I got that. They had to work around everything. I got fat on top of fat in there.
No, Chris is
Also,
the poster
too,
child.
bear with us. We're still trying to work out our sound issues, and we're trying to hope everything is clear and stuff like that. So hopefully we're getting closer to that. But I'm no sound engineer, but I have reached out to some people for some help, and I think we're getting closer to being where we need to be. So, but anyway, so we were pretty stringent on our diet. We did follow the program that Dr. A sent us. You know, some days I would have a protein shake instead of a meal. He does not suggest that. So just so you know, he does not suggest you go on a full liquid diet before surgery.
No.
Like a lot of places do.
He's pretty adamant against it, actually.
Yeah, he thinks, you know, that when you do full liquids that you're starving your body and your body's going through shock because of it. And you're fixing to go through another shock of a surgery, and he
thinks the recovery is much worse going on an all liquid because, I mean, your body's already in shock, and then you have surgery, and how is your body supposed to recover from that when it has no real, I don't want to say no real nutrients, but like, I mean, when you're on an all liquid diet, you're getting processed nutrients, and he wanted you to have real protein, real meat, leafy greens. He wanted you to eat real food, so you'd have the best chance at recovering.
And we did some things here, like we made a bone broth here. Well, and I say I use that so lightly, but Natalie gets most of the stuff prepared for us. She's a little cooker. So, but all you do is you take a rotisserie chicken. Yeah,
this is what he recommended.
Take the meat off of it, which is good because when you're on the pre-op diet, you can take that meat, you take that chicken, and make your salads and stuff with it, and then you use the bones that are left and whatever else may be left on the bones. Throw them into a pot.
Cartilage, bones, and the marrow.
Water.
Salt and pepper.
That's it, right?
Yeah, and then you just boil it and make a broth.
Yeah, and it turns out really good.
Yeah, it's really delicious.
I mean, for a broth, you know what I'm saying? And you could tell it's a broth, and you could tell when you're getting broth versus bouillon because broth will have grease floating through it.
Yeah, it's really rich.
Yeah, and bouillon is not. It's going to just be a smooth. You could tell that it's made from a cube or something like that, but. So anyway, so Natalie and I were both sleeved, 112.18, and we had a great trip. And I think you weighed yourself this morning?
I did.
Okay. So your highest weight was?
My highest weight was 267.
And you're currently?
235.6, I think.
Oh, good job. That's 32 pounds.
Yeah, so super excited.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start not counting that point unless it's like, unless it's like, oh, you're 399.85. Then I'm gonna start.
I'm 399.
Yeah, no, I'm 399. but as long as it's like 399.9, and somebody's gonna be, so did you weigh yourself this morning? Yeah, I'm 399. I'm not 400 anymore.
That's right.
Which is crazy because
like, from me.
If you listen to me talk, I'm sure somebody sitting in the audience or sitting out there is gonna think to themselves, 400 pounds. You're excited because you're only because you are 400 pounds. Yeah, well, when you've lived a 400-pound lifestyle for the past at least 5 years, I'm excited that I'm about to be below 400.
Yeah, I'm sure it's very similar to when women get into Wonderland.
Yeah, because I just, my heaviest weight was 478, found out in the hospital when I discovered I had type 2 diabetes. That was 478 pounds. Good for me. But then I dropped down. I weighed this morning, and I am 400 pounds.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
I'm so excited.
So that's 51 pounds down since we started the pre-op diet.
Yeah, since my pre-op diet, I'm only.
You're 19 pounds, right?
Yes. Yeah.
19?
It was 19 and some change.
I don't have it yet. I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get a fat chunk, an imitation fat chunk, but they're expensive. So if anybody out there listening can tell me where I can get one for a little bit cheaper, please, or how to make one, please let me know. Because the little fat chunk, I mean, you're talking about something this size is about 5 pounds of fat. Okay, so when you try to say, oh, I'm only down 19 pounds, that's almost 4 of these.
Yeah.
Think about that. That's crazy.
I know. I'm so excited.
I'm so proud of you. So, I mean, you know, talked to Eva today. Eva's doing great.
Yeah.
She's killing it too.
She's doing great.
Yeah, she's doing really good. So the morning that we decided, or the day that we were going to have surgery was a Friday, and we went to the Atlanta airport, and you weren't allowed to eat anything past midnight, like any other surgery or doctor's visit that you ever go to where you're going to get blood. You had to fast, and then we left the house, and I started drinking on a gallon of water.
Yeah,
as soon as
I did share that, but
shared a little bit, yeah. But I drank over a half a gallon of water between here and the airport, which is about a 45-minute ride.
Yeah, for us.
Yeah,
on a good day.
Yeah, on a good day. Well, early in the morning. Atlanta's horrible. If you've ever been here, if it's been later than 2 years ago, you'd think that you would know how bad it was, but I'm telling you, in the last 2 years, it's gotten so much worse.
Yeah,
I drive a truck in it. It's fantastic. But in any case, so we got to the airport. We got those bottles, those smart water bottles that are about yay tall. I drank 2 of those. You drank 1.
I drank 2.
No, you drank 2. That's right. We got 2.
I think I drank like 1.5 and carried the rest of it on the plane with me. But I did finish that.
You were supposed to get super hydrated the day of surgery.
Yeah.
And we were gonna do everything we could.
Yeah.
So
I think I
probably drank over a gallon of water before I actually had the surgery.
Yeah, I think I went to the restroom like 4 times while on the plane.
Oh my God, on the plane, I could not stop peeing.
Yeah. I was like, well, you know.
Yeah.
Every time hydrated, the better the surgery.
Every time I moved, I was like, oh, I gotta go. And you know what? It's funny because on the way there, everybody and their brother was using the bathroom.
Yeah.
And we sat right next to the bathroom. We flew first class, and we sat right next to the bathroom. Everybody had to go to the bathroom. But on the way home, I think maybe 2 people went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I might have been one of those 2. I don't remember a lot of people using the bathroom on the way home. I don't know.
No, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a 4-hour flight. Somebody's going to have
Somebody's
to go to the bathroom. But, yeah, on the way back, hardly anybody used the bathroom. But on the way there, maybe it was because it was morning, people drinking coffee and stuff like that. But I don't know.
Either way, so we get on the plane. We fly to San Diego, which is beautiful. And we touch down in San Diego. And we text the driver, Roberto. So tell Roberto, hey, we're at the baggage claim. He tells you to go outside and look for a sign that has a letter on it. So we went outside, found the sign, told him what number it was or what letter it was, and then within 15 minutes, Roberto was there picking us up, and we were on our way to pick Eva up.
Yeah, from her hotel.
So we drive through a little bit of San Diego to get to her hotel because she went in the day before, her and Sarah. So we get to their hotel, we meet Eva, fall in love because she's awesome.
She is.
And then we start off towards Tijuana, and like within 45 minutes of picking up Eva, we're literally like, we pull up in front of the hospital, which didn't even look like a hospital.
No.
I would have never guessed
like
that was going to be.
Yeah. It was just
there.
The street.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there were a bunch of buildings, but they look like almost like apartment buildings.
Yeah.
And then it's the hospital.
Yeah, all of a sudden you pull up and there's like security. It's security / like baggage handlers, I guess, because they're there standing in front of the hotel and they look like security, but they get your bags and stuff out for you. And Roberto helps carry all your stuff in. So you get inside the hospital entrance. You're just kind of hanging out there for a second. Roberto checks you in, tells them, hey, these guys are here to have surgery. And then they take you to another lobby. And you get to that other lobby where you just kind of hang out while it's your turn to do blood work. So,
yeah, Alex comes and he greets you and he kind of explains to you.
Not our Alex. Dr. A's Alex. Just so everybody's clear that, we got
Dr.
2
A's
Alexes.
Alex. He comes and he tells you everything that's going to happen, and that they're going to do blood work, and then they're going to check you in, and you fill out some paperwork, and then he's the one that actually takes you up to your hospital room.
Yep, and you do the blood work down there, and the people are so nice, super nice.
Yes.
And it's so funny too because it's so like laid back. Where here, you see like nurses walking around, they're all wearing scrubs and stuff like that. But like, and they were all wearing scrubs upstairs. But the people that took our blood and stuff that worked in the lab, the one dude, he was wearing like blue jeans and tennis shoes and stuff, and like a lab coat. It was funny. I just thought, I was like, oh, okay, it's kind of cool, laid back. The hospital is 50 years old. We went to a hospital in Guadalajara. It is 50 years old, but it was really clean.
Super clean.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like, it didn't look like a hotel from the 50s or nothing like that. You know,
no, you could tell it had been updated.
It's been updated a little bit.
Yeah.
It's probably, you could tell it was probably a hotel. It was probably last updated in like, I don't know, the 90s.
Yeah.
Something like that. But it was a good hotel. Or a hospital, I mean. I keep saying hotel. It always confuses me.
It was a great hospital.
So we get upstairs, we get to our rooms, and we go to the third floor. Eva got stuck on the second floor.
Because the third floor was booked.
Yeah, the third floor was already booked up, so they didn't have any open rooms. But Eva was on the second floor, which is basically like, in that hospital, the second floor means you could have a baby, a gunshot wound, and the flu, and all be on the same floor.
Yeah. It was just random patients.
It was just random patients.
I mean.
And but upstairs was, the third floor is the bariatric floor, which is nothing but bariatric patients. So, you know, you may have, I think there was 11 rooms, and out of the 11, you may have 4 Dr. A patients or 5 Dr. A patients or less, and then you may have some Dr. Cervantes patients, and there's one other doctor that was there. I can't remember. Ricardo used him, the guy that was in the room next to me.
Oh, yeah.
Something with a P. Pipiopi. Maybe it was Pipiopi. That's not.
I was going to say, that didn't sound.
In case you didn't know, Pipiopi is the name that they give the guy on Forgetting Sarah Marshall when he goes to.
I was like, where did that come
He's
from?
like,
That
your
is
name's
not the
going to
name.
be Pipiopi. You're doing too much. Do less. Anyways, so I can't remember his name, but it started with a P. Anyways, so they have all these rooms rented out, you know, and the way it kind of works is the doctor that we used and those other doctors, they don't have a clinic. Okay, I know Dr. A used to be with a different company, and they kind of used it's not I can't remember what he called it, not a halfway house, but it's some kind of house.
It was like a
recovery house. Yeah. He didn't like it. He didn't feel like you got the treatment that you should get, and stuff like that. And I can't remember. Tiffany and them, they went to a clinic, and I think they do everything in house, and I think they've got people there obviously around the clock. But I think it's more of a hospital setting too. I'm not 100% sure. We'll have them on, and we could talk about their visit too.
Yeah, we'll definitely ask them how their stay went.
So, but ours is we're just going to try to keep it unique to ours. So we went to our rooms. The doctors rent these rooms. They pay the hospital to take care of us while we're there. They rent time in the operating room, and then they have to schedule it around each other's schedules. So somebody will have, this time, somebody will have this time. Dr. A starts in the later part of the day. The other doctors, I think, are in the beginning part of the day. It's like early, mid, and then late is how they kind of work it, because you could see their patients go down, and then another doctor's patients go down, and then we went down.
Yeah.
So, but when you get into the room, you kind of get settled in. And then
they give you a gown to go ahead and change, and then they said that you could keep your underwear on until right before surgery, but surgery you have to take it off. And then they go ahead and they come in and they hook your IV up, and they put your compression socks on for you, and
they come in and do an EKG.
Yes.
And then you get the anesthesiologist comes in. The hospital has a dang it, I know this word, and it kind of internalist. An internalist comes in, and he talks to you, and they tell you all about the surgery and what your recovery is going to look like, and they want to know if you wear CPAP. They go over your medical history with you, make sure you're not allergic to anything.
Pressure issues, stuff like that.
They go over everything pretty much. But it gets real when when the doctor actually shows up, I guess, because Dr. A comes in and he talks to everybody
he'll
before,
talk to
you
each
know.
individual before surgery.
Yeah, he comes in and makes sure you're okay and that you're comfortable and ready to go, and he tells you what order you're going to go in, and they choose the order usually based on your comorbidities. That's what Dr. A told me. So, you know, with me, I had the most comorbidities, and Natalie didn't have, and I mean, I don't know how Natalie didn't have high blood pressure or close to being diabetic.
No.
She didn't have either. So,
but I was probably on the verge.
Probably close. And
Yeah.
Eva was same way. She didn't have high blood pressure or diabetes or anything like
No.
that. And I had type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure, which, by the way, I haven't checked those since I've been back. I probably should, but we're only on a second week out. So I haven't been taking my medicine just in case, because I know that if you take blood pressure medicine, I'm not saying this is right. I'm just saying this is what I've been doing. I, didn't take the type 2 diabetes medicine for a long time anyways, because if I ate healthy, I didn't really have to take it. I could tell the difference. But the blood pressure medicine, I would take it normally, but I don't want to pass out because my blood pressure gets too low
Yeah.
and me be here by myself. So, you know, that was my only worry. So I was like, well, I'll wait a couple weeks and see if it normalizes, and if it does, then I'm good. If it doesn't, then I'll go talk to the doctor. We've got to do a follow-up soon anyways with our doctor, because that's what you do. You follow up with your primary care physician.
Yeah, every 3 months you have to do blood work, and you have to send it back to Dr. A. He's going to review it, and he'll let you know if he sees any deficiencies,
yeah.
malnutrition, anything like that.
So anyway, everybody gets done talking to you. The doctor comes up, he talks to you, and you get kind of ready. So they told me that I was going first, and that Natalie would be going after me, and then Eva. And I think another reason Eva went last too is because she had her gallbladder taken out.
Yeah, she had gallbladder surgery, so I think it was going to take longer. So you wanted to go ahead and get the 2, you know, regular surgeries.
Get them done with and knocked out
first. And
so that made sense. But yeah, so we did. I went down to surgery. Now a gentleman named Alan came and got me. And Alan, I really hope that you listen to this one day, because you were just.
if you are listening and you're going down there and you meet Alan, just give him a shout out.
Yeah,
first,
you tell him how much Chris and Natalie Newberry love him.
Yes, he was amazing.
I will definitely go back just to visit with them, because they were just amazing. The bedside manner there was
staff was
amazing.
Just, yeah.
And I'm talking about not just our doctor and his staff. I'm talking about the entire hospital.
Yeah.
Was very, very accommodating, very super nice. Bedside manner was just fantastic. I mean, I just can't say enough good things about them there.
I mean, it's just, I don't know. I just don't feel like I've ever gotten the care and attention to detail in the States that I got in Tijuana.
Well, and I don't want to take anything away from the nurses that I had, by the way, at Cartersville Medical Center. The nurses that I had when I found out I had type 2 diabetes, very, very helpful, very nice, very sweet. You know, I mean, thank you for everything you did. The PCTs that I had there, Brett Spradley, for sure, I can remember. You know, I've known Brett for a long time. I've been friends with Brett for a long time. But even when he came in, you could tell he was like work mode guy, because he's a super nice guy outside of work. But then when he was in there, like taking care of me, checking my blood sugar and all that stuff, just super nice. So I'm not going to say it was the best I ever had. It was, but I would tell you this much: they'd be just as good here in the States as they were there. So that's definitely never going to be a worry for me.
But I will warn you that the night staff does not speak great
very
English.
much English. Yeah. So you want to download Google Translate on your phone too. That's going to be very helpful.
Yeah. Which they understand pain and nausea. They know those 2 words. So I mean,
they can kind of. I mean, they're just like me and you. Like, we don't know Spanish. So if you go down there and you can kind of like, you know, you wince a little bit, my stomach, you know, hold your stomach. They know. I mean, this is not their first rodeo. They've been doing this for a while.
Yeah. But anything more technical than that, definitely
use Google Translate.
Yeah.
Actually, I told jokes there was 2 that came in during the day, like the last day we were there, and they were changing the dressing. So I'm like typing jokes into the thing, you know, and translate. And they're all like, they both lean down and they're listening, and then they both immediately, you know, start laughing. So it's funny to me, but it definitely helped. So anyway, so Alan, he comes and gets me, and You have to get off your own bed and get onto a gurney that Alan's going to take down to the operating room. Now, the operating room is crazy. Okay. It's in the basement, pretty much. I think. I'm not sure. The elevator ride was like 6 hours long. That's what it felt like.
But it is in the basement.
But it is in the basement, I believe. And Alan, he's like super fast at what he does. The surgeries literally take, the 15 minutes is like the longest surgery.
Yeah.
I think Dr. A told me my surgery was like 8 minutes.
Yeah, because he was textbook. I mean.
He was in and out, And so anyway, so Alan, he comes and gets you. Now, he's like, you get on the gurney, he starts pushing you, and he could tell you're nervous. Here's the great thing about Alan. He's 5 years post-op. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's had the same exact surgery. He's a beautiful soul. Yeah. Super nice guy, just, telling you, hey, I'm here with you. Don't worry. Everything's going to be okay. I'm going to take care of you. Mm-hmm. Nothing's going to happen. And I'll be here whenever you wake up. And, I mean, just like, he knows exactly what you need to hear.
Yeah, he knows how to calm you, make you feel at home.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just...
Super nice. And he's cutting up, we're laughing and stuff. So when he's taking you down to the operating room, too, it's the funniest thing because he's like, he pushes you down the hallway, then he runs in front of you, hits the button on the elevator, then he grabs the bed and he's kind of slings it around. And it's a science. Yeah. He's got it down to a science.
He does, but he's no joke.
Yeah.
I mean,
but he gets you down there, and when he gets you down to the operating room, you got to switch gurneys again. Mm-hmm. So you switch gurneys, and while I'm sitting there laying on that gurney, obviously I'm the first one to go. The doctors are down there. They're getting ready to go to work. They're getting pumped up, so they're listening to music.
Yeah.
Except it's funny because the music they're listening to when I get down there is Celine Dion's "Power of Love," which I think is hilarious. So, and when Alan walked into my room to get me, I was listening to Pearl Jam. So I'm getting psyched up myself. They're getting psyched up. A little two different psychs, but. So they're getting psyched, I'm getting psyched. Alan's psyched because he likes Pearl Jam. So we're sitting there listening to it in my room, and then we get on the gurney and go. And then when we get down there and listen to that, I just look at him, he looks at me, we start laughing. I mean, it was good. It was good times. But I get on a different gurney, and they take that gurney into the operating room where Dr. A is, and the anesthesiologist, and then his other surgeon, and I think like a nurse tech or a surgical tech. They're all down there. Now it's like real. Like it's about to happen.
Yeah.
I remember thinking to myself the very first time I flew, because I've always been so big that I've been scared to fly. Like I wouldn't fit or anything. Mm-hmm. But there was one time where I lost a substantial amount of weight. And we flew to New Orleans to go on a cruise.
Yeah.
And I remember when the plane took off, and I'm like sitting in my chair, and like it's tilting back. I'm thrown back in the seat, and I'm like, uh-oh. We're taking off, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm nervous, but then I just immediately said, they're not gonna divert taking off. They're not gonna land the plane right now because you're scared.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the mindset that I had going through the operating room. Like I'm kind of scared. I'm nervous. I'm excited. I'm hopeful. I'm looking to the future. But I'm like, they're not gonna not do the surgery on you now. You might as well just go ahead and do it. You're here. You did the hardest part. You made the decision. You got here. Let's do this. Mm-hmm. But I was still, in the back of my head, I was like, okay, I'm 434 pounds. I, gotta hope I make it through the surgery. So you get off of that gurney and you get onto an operating table that I think is specifically set up for bariatric patients because it's kind of arched like this, so your feet hang down here and then your back is up here, kind of, I guess, so they can kind of go in at an angle, but you get on the table and the anesthesiologist is talking to you, and when I first come in, Dr. A says, welcome, Chris. Ooh, welcome. He's just trying to cut up with you and be a good guy. So she starts talking to you, telling you she's about to give you some stuff. Dr. A says, hey, listen, we're about to put you to sleep, but I'm not going to let you go to sleep till I know for sure that you're going to be able to handle the anesthesia. So I'm going to talk to you for a few minutes. Are you feeling okay? I said, yes, I'm feeling fine. He says, okay, let's just see how it works for a second. About 10 seconds later, he's like, how you feel now? I said, I feel great. And he says, okay, she's going to give you some oxygen or whatever. So I'm taking deep breaths of this oxygen, deep breaths of this oxygen, deep breaths of the oxygen. And then she says, okay, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to give you one big pump. And when you wake up, You start a new life. Okay, this is crazy. I've been under anesthesia before. I remember feeling more loopy the first time, but this time she put the mask on. She's like, take a deep breath, count back from 10. I was like, okay. She put the mask on. I said 10. The next thing I know,
that's it.
I wake up in pain. And I'm in some serious pain. Now, I just was in surgery, major surgery at that. I don't exactly know what has happened. I don't know how long I've been out. All I know is I'm trying to lay on my side, like kind of at an angle. I'm in pain. I'm in a room. I can see like 2 nurses walking back and forth by me, but nobody seems to be really paying me attention. Except for at some point I did hear somebody say, Christopher, you must lay on your back, Christopher. It's okay, Christopher.
Yeah.
So I'm like freaking out, and I'm like, oh, God, my stomach. Oh, the gas pains are real. You know, like that. I knew waking up I was going to have gas pains. I mean, they prepared me enough to know that when I woke up I would have gas pains. I wasn't nauseous. I didn't feel like I was going to throw up. I didn't have a pain anywhere else except for in my abdomen. So I knew it was gas pains. But that's the first thing I remember waking up.
Yeah.
Then the next thing I know, Alan's there. I'm switching gurneys again. And I do know this. They wake you up on the operating table when you're done.
Yeah.
So they wake you up there so you can move yourself from that bed to the other bed. They don't pick you up and move you, which I think is awesome. Because they're like, if he can wake up and move himself, he's good.
Yeah.
He ain't dead.
Yeah.
So,
that's right.
But, that was the one thing I was going to tell you is that the last thing I said to Dr. Ray before I laid down and put the mask on the first time was, no muerta. And, which I think means no death.
Yeah.
And so he stops everything he's doing. And it kind of makes me emotional because it's just, this guy is he's just so great. But he comes over to me, he grabs my hand, and he says, Chris, I am not going to let you die. I'm going to help you live. And then I put the mask on, and that was it. I woke up in pain.
It changed your life.
Yeah, it changed my life. So, thanks, Dr. A. You know, that's all I can really say about that. Now, like I said, first thing I remember waking up on my side, whatever. Tell us about your experience.
Okay, so similar experience. I get on the gurney. Alan shoots me down to the basement really fast. And then I come into the basement, and they're all jamming out. But it's playing the final countdown because they're finishing up with Chris, which I thought was just perfect. And so I'm just laying there and waiting for them to get done with Chris so I can get in. And they finally get done with Chris, and they move him onto the different gurney. And they actually shuttle him in next to me, but there's a curtain between us, so he can't see me and I can't see him, but I can hear him. And they, from the time he gets on that gurney, they are repeatedly telling him to get on his back, to not lay on his side. And the first thing that I hear is him groaning in pain, saying that his incisions hurt. So it kind of freaks me out. I'm like, oh no. But he's like deep groaning, like in pain, saying his incisions hurt. He doesn't remember any of this. No. And then they finally are like, you need to get on your back, you need to get on your back. And then he was like, I can't lay on my back, I can't breathe. And that really freaked me out, because I was like, I'm about to go do this, and this is what's about to happen to me. So it was really, really scary. And then once they got him in over next to me, they were like, hey, we have your wife Natalie next to you. And this is how I know he loves me, because he's still doped up, and he's like, Natalie, she's so beautiful, I love her so much. So that made me feel pretty good, because I figured he's not lying. But after that, and again, he doesn't remember saying or doing any of this at all. All he remembers is the gas pains in him, so he was completely out of it. But I didn't stay next to him too long. Then they got me into the room. Dr. A, came and asked me if I was ready, and Then they put the mask on me. I don't even remember saying 10, but I'm sure I did. And I was out. And then I woke up, and then, but I do remember transferring to one gurney and then coming back to where I was originally. Eva says she remembers me coming out, but I don't remember ever seeing her or anything like that. I just remember trying to take deep breaths to get all the anesthesia out of my lungs and stuff like that. My mom actually recommended to fight the nausea, take really deep breaths as soon as you coherently can think to take deep breaths. And I think it worked for me because I don't remember ever getting nauseous.
I wish you would have told me that, because I didn't know that. And then when Sarah came into my room and she was like, "Do you want to get up and walk?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, I don't know." But so I was like, "How's Natalie? Where's Natalie?" And she went and checked on you, and she came out. She was like, "She's doing jumping jacks in her room. What are you doing?"
Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
the only thing that really bothered me was the dry mouth. I had such bad cotton mouth. But I had no nausea. And most people, I guess, when they wake up, they puke. But I never got nauseous. I never got sick. So breathe deep.
Yeah, take deep breaths. Maybe, but I never got sick either. I never got nauseous. A lot of people throw up.
React. Yeah.
Candler threw up. I want to say Alex threw up.
Alex said that I don't know if she actually threw anything up, but she did say that she gagged. So.
Which is, it is normal for you to throw up after waking up. And they tell you all that when you get down there.
Yeah, they do.
We didn't have any of that. So now, so here we are. We just recovered from this surgery. And we're laying in our hospital beds, and so Sarah asked if we want to get up and walk. So I get up and walk down to Natalie's room and check on her, ask her if she wants to go walk. Now you're hooked up to an IV the whole time. So you're walking down, or we start walking down the hallways, which we're not the only people. I mean, there's other people already walking the hallways. Here's the thing. They call it the bariatric parade, and the reason they call it the bariatric parade is because you have to get up and walk after surgery if you want to get the gas pains out.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that's going to help. You have to, they're putting, I believe, CO2 into your body, into the abdomen cavity. How does your body release CO2? It's when you're exhaling, you release CO2. And you have to get your body working, get that stuff into your system, and be releasing it. So that's why walking, breathing, taking the deep breaths and all that stuff, it helps. So that's why you have to do that stuff. And if I'm wrong, then don't listen to me. But yeah, so that you get up and walk. So we got up and walked. Here's the thing, though. We only made it down to the end of the hallway, and I started feeling nauseous then. But I had eaten an ice chip or two. But my mouth was so dry, I just wanted to take the ice chip and just swirl it around in my mouth because it was so dry.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got up, we walked in the end of the hallway. I wasn't feeling too great by the time we got in the end of the hallway. Yeah.
I mean, I felt okay. The only thing was I was still so out of it from the anesthesia. Like, I was just... I mean, it was almost like I was drunk. Like I was having to hold my hand against the wall and carry this little IV so I wouldn't fall over. So, I mean, after that first walk, I was like, I need to go lay down and get the rest of this out of my system before I try to walk again, because I don't want to fall.
Yeah.
So
we went and laid back down in the hospital beds, and we fell asleep. And Natalie slept really good because she didn't get up the rest of the night.
No, till about 4.
Yeah, but I only slept for about
to about 2.
Maybe 2 a.m. maybe something like that.
Yeah.
And then I got up as I felt good. And I had the gas pains a little bit, but I tell you what, when the heating pad was on there, I didn't feel them. Because when I laid in the bed, and I had the heating pad on, I didn't feel gas pains. But
yeah, it's like they disappeared when you have the heating pad on. It's so great for sleeping.
But I got up and I started walking down the hallway, and when I did, there was another woman there, and she was from San Francisco, and she's a psychologist in San Francisco. So that just tells you stuff like that right there. Like, here's a psychologist. I assume psychologists make pretty good money, and I would also assume that they probably have pretty good insurance. But here she is in Tijuana, Mexico, having weight loss surgery because it was so expensive in the States.
It's so affordable in Tijuana.
Yeah, it's so affordable in Tijuana, but ridiculously expensive in the States. We have a problem with that. I mean, I've never been a huge fan of insurance because of that. I'm like, why even have you if you're not going to work for the things I need you to work for? If they don't help you with stuff that, I mean, it's going to save them money in the long run. That's what I don't understand.
Yeah.
So, and there's a lot of people out there that have great insurance and they cover it. I see a lot of posts on some of these Facebook groups. Somebody asked, how much did it cost you to have surgery? Some people are like $15,000 in Texas. Oh, I spent $1,500 here. This other person, oh, I didn't spend anything. My insurance covered all of it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Congratulations. I'm really happy for you that your insurance paid for all of it. And that is great. I really do. I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
For us, that wasn't a choice.
Option.
Yeah, it wasn't an option. So we went to Mexico. We had the surgery, and it was just as good, I think.
It was an amazing experience. So.
Yeah. So, anyway, so, she's there. We're walking. She's feeling good. I'm feeling good. I ended up going and laying back down. The next morning, we got up. I got up again at 6:30 in the morning. Natalie was still sleeping. Now, that's something you should know. Natalie is a sleeper. She likes her sleep, and sleep is recommended to help your body heal.
Yeah.
So I was not going to go mess with her. She was sleeping, and I was just going to let her be. So I'm not so much of a deep sleeper like that. Like, I don't just want to sleep for super long periods of time or anything like that. But anyways, it was like 6:30 in the morning. I got up. I started walking around. And was just walking back and forth down the hallways, and then Oscar came in. He was one of our nurses during the day. He was super awesome. Oscar came in and said, okay, they come in, they go to get you to go down to do the leak test, okay, at 10 o'clock, okay, and then once we pass the leak test, then we do food. And we get you some stuff from the cafeteria, and chicken broth and Gatorade and stuff like that, okay? So if you need anything from me, okay, you just call, okay? I mean, he is so funny.
He was so awesome.
But he's so awesome. And he was another one of those where he was just like, I'll basically just do about anything you need me to do.
Yeah, let me know how I can help you.
Yeah.
I mean.
He was great because, like, he put my socks on for me. I'm sure he put yours on for you. And what do you call them? The sexy socks. They call them the sexy socks, the compression socks. They are far from sexy.
There's nothing sexy about these socks.
But he puts those on you, and then he also does your IV. Well, he did my IV. And then he's coming in all the time checking on you. And then he just is really, I mean, he was really great. I can't say enough good things about him. But then we went and did the leak test at 10 a.m. It was me, you, and a few other patients. Eva, Ricardo. Somebody else was down there with us. I can't remember her name, but she was the one with Dr. Cervantes.
Yeah, she was really sweet, and I can't remember her name.
They had the suite on the floor. There's a suite, by the way, you can get, so ask about it if you want it. It doesn't, I mean, I don't think it's much better than our room was. The only difference was that it had like 2 separate rooms.
Yeah,
one was
like
for the hospital bed with
area.
a futon. Now, I will say that if you got a partner going with you or a friend going with you or somebody, companion, it had a futon, like a leather futon that you could sleep on. Our room just had a bench with a cushion on it. So it may not have been the most comfortable.
Not great for your companion.
No, but they also had like a living room set in the other room with a TV, a small TV, but we had a TV too, so.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, there was that, and we all went down there and we drank a little shot of some clear stuff that tasted horrible.
I can't remember.
Ricardo was nauseous the whole time. He threw his up as soon as he drank it.
Yeah, but he had it in there long enough that he didn't have to take more. It had coated his stomach.
So then you go in and you do an X-ray, and they've got 2 X-ray machines in there, so you can, while one person's in doing it, then the other person goes in, the other one doing it, and they just swap out like a zipper. But you end up going in there and doing that, and we all passed.
Yeah, nobody had any issues, regardless of who their doctor was. We all passed with flying colors.
So, which was exciting because that was another thing that,
I mean,
another
everybody's
hurdle.
worried about that.
Yeah.
You don't
But
want
here's
to
the
go into
thing, is like,
surgery and then...
in the States, from what Sarah and Eva told us, and they're both RNs, so that's another good thing. Here
Yeah.
are registered nurses from the States. Both of them have had surgery in Tijuana.
Yeah.
Okay, there was a nurse on an ICU nurse on our hall that had surgery.
Yep.
There was another woman that worked in the medical field. She had surgery there with us.
Yes.
It was just a, it's
It's
not just your
comforting.
run of the mill. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
people that are in that industry that know what the standards are and still go and have the surgery. So I mean, it's nothing to be worried about. Now, when we got done with the leak test, we were able to go back upstairs. They brought us chicken broth, Gatorade, apple juice, watered down Gatorade, and ice chips.
Yep.
And it was probably the greatest day of our lives.
Yes.
But that's what I was going to say. Is here's the thing: is that Eva and them said that they don't even do leak tests in the States anymore like that.
What?
Yeah, they don't have you go down and drink the thing and do the thing.
Well, how do they know?
So what they do, and Dr. A does this too. So they take, I guess when they're taking your stomach out, they're sealing it as they're cutting it. Maybe I know he said something about a bougie.
Well, when they staple it, they're stapling both sides of your stomach. They're
Right.
closing it, they're sewing it and everything. So, yeah, I think I do remember Eva saying something about
Well,
the
they take
balloon test.
they take it and they put CO2 in it and it pumps
and
it
they
up.
blow it up
Yep.
like a balloon.
And as long as it stays blown up,
Yeah, like
then
no
it didn't
air is
leak.
leaking.
which means it should not have leaked on your stomach. Should not have a leak.
Yeah, if the removed part doesn't leak, then your stomach part
That's
should not
essentially
leak.
what they think. So I guess that's what they're doing in the States too. I think that's what Evan and them said.
I don't know. That just didn't seem like. I mean.
Well, I mean, I don't know. They could be doing like an endoscopy or something though too. They
Yeah, they
shoving
could be
a little
checking
camera down
something
there.
some other way. I would think they would do something besides just checking what they removed.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think they'd want to check the actual stomach, but again, I don't know. I don't know what.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
a
have no idea.
professional, so. But.
Now, they did that. We got our food. I was able to drink all the broth and
Yeah,
most
not
of the
me.
Gatorade. Not Natalie. She wasn't able to take it all
No,
down.
it took me a lot longer to, and I had to take much smaller sips than Chris did.
Yeah.
But,
But I
you
mean,
know,
everything was
each-
fine.
Each their own. I
Yeah,
mean,
each person's different.
yeah, go at your own pace. Do
Yeah.
not feel like, well, he's drinking the whole cup, I should drink the whole. No, that is
Yeah.
not how it works.
And then, once you get the habit of doing it and how much your body can take, then you just kind of work from there. And I mean, that's all it is. It's
Yeah,
just
you'll-
all understanding your own
Yeah.
body.
Know your limits.
But I tell you, when we started drinking that liquid and the broth and stuff like that, man, it felt so much better. It pushed the gas out. I mean, you were
it really
farting
helped
and
with the
burping.
gas.
And
it's not like your stomach isn't full of gas. It's just
The
your
abdomen,
cavity and
yeah.
stuff. But drinking, it somehow releases the gas. It's awesome. So as soon as you start drinking water and drinking the broth and the Gatorade, your gas pains diminish significantly.
oh, yeah. So we did that, and now it's Saturday. And so we get done everything with Saturday. Saturday night, we just chill at the hotel or at the hospital. We went down to see Eva, and they didn't want us to go down to the second floor. I will say that.
No.
It's like they want you to stay on your floor because they didn't want her coming up either, I don't think. But we're badasses. So we snuck down there.
We did anyways. We
Yeah.
had to go
We had to see
our
Eva.
our
And,
sleep sister.
and Eva was not doing as good. Eva was having problems.
Yeah.
Because she had her gallbladder and all that stuff taken out too.
She was a lot more nauseous. She had a lot more vomiting.
Yeah. So,
And I don't think the nurses down there are as familiar with, what the bariatric diet is as ours was. Because I know she said there were several times where she didn't even get any type of chicken broth. Like she would just get the
she would
water
just
and
get
the
the water and the
Gatorade.
Gatorade.
And the chicken broth is awesome. So
Yeah.
I felt so bad for her that she wasn't getting what we were getting
Yeah.
because she was on a different floor.
But she did fine, and she actually turned out to be doing really good.
Yeah,
But,
I mean-
and another thing I'm kind of jealous of, Eva had all the nausea and stuff like that. We didn't. But, man, she got to poop way faster than we did.
Yeah,
She pooped several times before we
she's
ever
very
pooped once.
regular.
Yeah. And
not
I think
me so much.
poop is acceptable, right? We can say poop. Eva pooped a lot more than us. Sorry, Eva. I hope that's not embarrassing. But
Sorry.
I mean, she definitely was much more handy in that department than we were. Golly. When I first went, it was like a cat turd. That's what it felt like. It was awful. It was awful and black as this tablecloth. I was like, wow, this is crazy. Any case, so Sunday morning, Alex and Israel came by, which both worked with Dr. A, and they told us that we were going to be checking out and going over to the Real Inn, which is the hotel that Dr. A puts his patients up in for recovery one last day. So we get all that going. We all, Dr. A comes back. We sit and talk for a few minutes. And you have time to sit there and talk to him and understand his passion and understand how much he really does care. Because, one, you're following this man's Facebook page, you're following his videos, you're watching him all the time. It's like meeting a celebrity.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so like, he's got like an aura around him. I mean, you can just tell that he's just such a good person. And then you sit there and listen to him talk about how he's like, it really affects me when people don't follow their diet after surgery, because I don't want them to think that I didn't do anything for them. I don't want them to think that they didn't do something to change their lives. And I want them to genuinely have better lives.
Yeah.
But, people don't follow the plans and stuff like that they need to. And
like he gets really upset when he thinks that one of his patients are going to fail.
Yeah. And he's quick to tell you, too. He's like, if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you're going to fail, and I don't want to see you fail.
Yeah.
He really genuinely cares, and that, I know we say that all the time, but, man, I love that guy.
Yeah, he was pretty awesome.
Love that guy. But we sat and talked for a few minutes, and, we talked about different things in his life and stuff that's going on with his personal life and the surgeries and stuff like that. I asked him why he didn't have a clinic. He told me. Asked him about just random stuff, and we talked about it, and everything was great. I mean, he's just a normal, down-to-earth guy that just happens to love changing people's lives.
Yeah, and he's really good at it.
And that was one of his main reasons, too, is he said that, if you go to a doctor and your appendix bursts, and he does the surgery and takes out your appendix, and you live, that's great. 5 years from now, you're probably not going to remember that doctor's name. You're probably not going to know who it was that saved your life, because that is a life-saving thing. Your appendix burst, you only got a short amount of time before it could kill you.
Yeah, but your daily life, I mean, before surgery to after surgery, is going to be relatively the same. Yeah. I mean, there's going to be a healing process, but,
it's not life-altering that you had your appendix taken out.
Your day-to-day is not going to change from having your appendix removed.
But 5, 10, 15, on my deathbed, I will look back and say, God, I'm so thankful Dr. Altamirano gave me all this extra time.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for him, great patient or not, great liver, great heart or not, this weight was going to catch up to me. And it was already doing it, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure. I mean, it was already doing what it had to do.
Yeah.
If it would have kept going in that direction, man, I can't imagine.
There's no telling how long.
Would I have been here for our kids that we don't even have yet? Would I have ever been able to have kids that we don't have yet?
Yeah.
I mean, there's just no telling. And, and I'm one of those people. I'm like a lot of you out there. Like, I work hard. We like to enjoy things. And it got to the point where I was just like, why am I working so hard to enjoy all this stuff? And I'm not taking care of myself.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't take care of myself, I could have hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank. Not going to matter, bro.
Nope.
You're not going to be here to enjoy it. So you need to do something now. So we did. Anyways, so we get to the hotel. A different kind of driving company comes and picks us up and brings us over there. Still a good company, great vehicle. Yep. We get to the hotel, which is about 15 minutes away from the hospital, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that. Not far. But you get over there, you get checked in. Alex checks you in and gets everything taken. Or no, Israel checks you in and gets everything taken care of. You go to the room and you just kind of hang out for a few minutes, and then we went out walking to the mall across the street, me, Natalie, and Eva. And Sarah...
we wanted to see what Tijuana was like.
Yeah, Sarah knew some people from when she had surgery before that she stayed in contact with, so she went out with them, and, which was cool because Sarah's leading a normal life again, where she's 2 years post-op. She can do stuff that we can't do.
She can enjoy things.
Yeah, and so we just were like, cool, we're just going to go walking or whatever. So we went walking. Now, the mall is an outside mall. And if you've never been to an outside mall, imagine going to your local mall, right? And you go inside, and it's this giant building, and all these stores are inside the mall. This mall is an outside mall. So you walk into like an entrance, but it's all outside still. So, but all the storefronts are facing you. It's really cool.
It's like a strip mall, but it's like in this huge like circle.
Yeah.
And so you're in the center, and you walk around to all the different. It's awesome.
And there's
it's
fountains,
really cool.
and
yeah,
everybody's enjoying, nachos.
Restaurants and.
We're not, it's kind of like, too, I would describe it like this. Like, if you've ever been to New York and you walk around and you see people, like, eating those famous New York hot dogs or those pretzels and stuff like that.
The vendor, hot dog
Down
vendors.
there, everybody's eting nachos. Like, those little plates of nachos. I kid you not. And they're the best-looking nachos you've ever seen in your life. But I wasn't hungry for them.
No, they just smelled awesome, though.
Yeah.
They looked awesome. They smelled awesome, but I
didn't feel like, oh my God, I gotta have those nachos right now or nothing like that. We watched the Saints lose to the Vikings.
Yeah.
There was a TV at one of the sports bars, whatever, or sushi bar or something like that. And it's just like here, man. It's normal restaurants like you would see here. They had every fast food restaurant, and they had like a food court. They had all the different fast food restaurants, all the same ones we have. They had different little restaurants inside of the mall area that were like, there was like a little steakhouse kind of looking thing, a sushi restaurant where we watched the game at. And they're really into American football there.
Yes,
even when I was in the hospital, I was watching the Falcons lose to the Jets, which was awful. Or no, the Eagles. I'm sorry, they lost to the Eagles, which was awful. But we watched them kind of, go through different people come in and watch and say, hey, what game are you watching? I tell them, I'm like, oh, you a fan? And he's like, yeah, but I'm a Jets fan. Okay. It's like, well, here we are in Tijuana, Mexico, and this guy's a Jets fan. Golly. But so anyway, so they're really into American football there, and there's advertising for American football everywhere too.
Yeah.
So we all watched the game. We watched the end of that game. Everybody was freaking out. Oh my God, just crazy ending to that game.
Yeah, that was a crazy ending.
So and then we keep walking, and we walk around, and we finally decide, okay, we're going to head back to our hotel. That's when we went to the supermarket, and we got a couple things there, mainly of the omeprazole. And you wouldn't believe, but I bought stateside, it would have been like $30-something worth of just I bought some Powerades and some candy to bring back to my nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
And
you can't come back from a trip with nothing for them.
No.
You can't do it.
But I bought $30 worth of stuff, and it ended up being $10. So I was like, okay, that works. Then we went back to the hotel. We hung out with Eva for a little bit in our room. We all went to bed. Woke up the next morning. Text Alex to find out what time we needed to be ready. Found out from Roberto we needed to be ready by 11.
Yep.
Here's where our trip took a little bit of a hiccup.
Yeah.
Roberto was late picking us up by 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But, he said it was just traffic that caused him to be late, which I believe because Roberto was a stand-up guy. But then Roberto grabbed himself a coffee at Starbucks before we left. So probably another 5 or 6 minutes, no big deal. We were supposed to be going back through the medical lane, which normally takes 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's usually pretty quick.
Unfortunately for us that day, there was a Border Patrol agent who was a chatty Cathy.
Yep.
And he wanted to talk to every single car.
At the end of his shift.
Which he did tell us. He said,
this is from his own mouth.
Yeah,
This is what he told us.
by the time we got up to him, we're an hour and a half into being in line to get through the border.
Yeah.
So by the time we get up to him, he's all like, oh, how you guys doing today? Here I'm just at the end of my shift, about to call it a day and chatting every car up, and you guys are just trying to get out of here, huh? I'm so mad, and normally I would probably have blown a gasket, but at this point I'm still hopeful that we are going to make our flight. So we get through. Roberto's like, we're gonna get there. So he hauls butt down. This, you could tell he's really trying to get us there.
He's trying his dangest to get us there. We get
to the airport. We jump out. Roberto jumps out. He grabs our luggage. He throws it for us. We grab it. We start rolling it down. We scream bye to Evan, Sarah, and Roberto. We take off. Like, bye. Yeah. So we get inside, and we missed. Now our flight left at 2:15. 2:15,
and we got there probably about
1:45.
1:45.
Which 45 minutes, by the way, is your cutoff. So they can't take your luggage anymore. 45 minutes till.
Yeah.
So here's the downside. Delta is who I always fly on. And we like flying Delta. We're out of Atlanta. It goes everywhere. It comes back here from everywhere. But this woman was really not helpful. She just kept telling me there was nothing that she could do. She wasn't even going to try to do anything. She didn't want to call the gate and say, hey, if we sent this luggage, could you get it on the plane? It's San Diego Airport. The entire airport is about the size of one terminal, not even a terminal, one wing of Atlanta Airport.
Yeah, it's itty bitty.
So, one gate, I would say. All right, so I'm like, you can't, there's nothing you can do. Nope, there's nothing I can do. So her supervisor comes over, and now it's to the point where
I was going to say, and this process took about 15 minutes or so. So our time has been cut in half that we got there. So
now it's 2 o'clock. We got there at like 1:45. Now it's like 2 o'clock before she finally gets a supervisor over there, who she said also couldn't do anything. Supervisor gets over there, and she's like, oh, if you would have gotten here just a few minutes earlier, I probably could have got this over there. And I'm like, I've been here since 1:45. Like, I know I was running late, but I was here at 1:45. And she's like,
we were told nothing can be done.
Well, I'm so sorry about that. So she was cool. She told us that we were not going to make the flight now because she didn't think we would make it through security on time and everything anyways, which sucked because now we had to stay either we were going to sleep at the airport that day, which was not happening, or we were going to have to go get a hotel. Now, the airport, San Diego is not, it's not as big as you would think it is. We've never been there before, but it's not as big as you would think. And when you're used to being like from Atlanta, it just wasn't as big as I thought it was going to be, which is fine with me. But so we were like, you know what? I told Natalie, I said, let's just stay another night. We don't have anything pending when we get home.
We didn't have to rush back to work or anything.
Didn't have to rush back.
We were very thankful for. So an extra day, I mean, it was an inconvenience, but it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
We'd stay one extra day. We'd get the exact same flight the next day. No extra money. It didn't cost us any extra money to switch flights. So.
And here's where it got pretty good. So I messaged Dr. Ray and I said, hey, man, because he wants to know, that you made it and everything like that. So I messaged him and said, hey, Doc, Roberto was a little late picking us up, and we missed our flight by like 20 minutes. So we're going to stay one more night here in San Diego, so I don't want you to think that we went home or nothing like that, or didn't make it home. So he's like, oh, no. How much did it cost to change the flights? Or he said, how much is it costing you to change flights? And I said, well, we can't change flights tonight because there's nothing else available unless we flew standby, and we wouldn't be able to sit in first class.
And we'd even get on the plane.
And it was important to fly first class for me because I'm 6 foot, 430 pounds. I needed the room, I felt. So, and we just had surgery. We wanted to be comfortable on the way home, So,
and we had paid for first class, so we didn't want to do the standby and then
fly coach,
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with coach. We had paid for the first class already.
It's a lot of money.
So, which, by the way, in case you didn't know, 4-hour flights is when they start serving food on the airplane. So not only would you not get breakfast on the way over, but we also couldn't eat the amazing looking dinner that they had on the way home.
Yeah.
And that was the first time for me. I'd never seen that before. But in any case, so I tell Dr. A, no, I'm not going to have to change flights. We're just going to go get a hotel tonight. And he said, well, how much is your hotel room? I said, well, I just booked one as $120. I'm a Hilton Honors member, so we got a little bit of a discount. So he says, do you have PayPal? I said, yeah, I've got PayPal. And he says, send me a request. So I sent him a request. Immediately, he sends me $120.
Yeah.
So he pays for the hotel room. He says, get out, walk around the city, go look at some things. He says, but don't drink no beer. You know? So I'm like, no, Doc, I'm definitely not going to drink any beer. He's like, have a good time. And she said, try to make the best of it. If you need anything, let me know. So that's exactly what we did. Me and Sarah and Eva's flight wasn't leaving until like 9:30 that night. So here it is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We didn't have anything to do. So they took an Uber back to us because Roberto told him that on the way back he could swing them by the zoo because they were just asking if they could just get dropped off at the zoo. So normally that is not something your driver does, by the way. So pay attention to that. He is there for one purpose. He's going to pick you up at the airport. He's going to drop you off back at the hospital. He's going to pick you up at the hotel. He's going to bring you back to the airport. That's what he gets paid to do. He's an A to B. You're not the only patient. You're not going to be the only patient that day. There's other people whose flights are leaving after us. And I can tell you right now, we went through the medical lane, which is supposed to be faster. He pays for permits to get you into that lane. He has to have that paperwork, and it's not a permit that stays all day. It's per trip. So if he makes 5 trips per day, he has to have 5 permits per day just for his vehicle, and he's got like 4 or 5. So he says he gets a lot of flack because he's drinking coffee in front of people and they can't have coffee. How dare he?
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's getting one woman had a passenger or a companion with them. The woman had just had surgery, but the companion had to have In-N-Out burger.
Yeah.
And now if you're listening, I'm just telling you how Roberto told us about it. But the way he made it seem, and he was pretty genuine about it, that the passenger or the companion was just like, we have to go to In-N-Out, have to go to In-N-Out. Meanwhile, the other person who just had surgery is just sitting there like, oh, okay, just take her to In-N-Out, or him, or I don't know who it was, but
I don't know if
he was
it was
like, just take them there so they can get something. And the thing is, Roberto's not a taxi. No, you have to remember that.
That is not his job.
No, he's a medical transport. Here in the States, I guarantee a medical transport company is not going to run you through the drive-thru. No. So he dropped them off at In-N-Out Burger and told them that was it. They had to figure out how to get to the airport, which they did. But you know how rude is that? But not only that, what a great example you set for the rest of us. Yeah. Like, we already get a bad rap. Americans get a bad rap, anyways, and not all of us deserve it. But here's this guy just trying to do his job, and you're hassling him, and he said he's been cussed at, screamed at, talked to, threatened, all sorts of. He's just trying to do his job, That's crazy. And for you to go down there and act like that, that's his country. I mean, how hateful is that? Anyways, so they catch an Uber back to us. They meet us at the airport. We all take the shuttle from my hotel over to the hotel. They come and chill in the room with us for a little bit. We walk down to Panera Bread.
Yeah, we walked about 4 blocks, was it?
Yeah, it's half a mile.
4 or 5 blocks.
Longest half mile of my life. I'm not going to lie to you.
But, I mean, that shows you how good of condition we were in. Yeah. I mean, we walked 4 or 5 blocks 2 days after surgery. And I will say, the longest half mile, not because of how long it was, but one, you are dehydrated when you're done, so you're super thirsty. And you're tired.
Tired. But when you don't know where you're going and nothing looks familiar, it's a long walk.
Yeah, you're like...
And it wasn't a straight shot. It wasn't like, okay, the half a mile straight ahead is going to be Panera Bread. No, it was like, okay, go up 2 blocks, cut over a block, go down 2 blocks, cut over a block, go back a block, go down a block. I mean... Anyways, by the time we finally got there, we were just ready to sit down and eat something. So we did. We sat down and ate our little chicken broth and onion soup.
I had the French onion soup, and it was so good.
And then I said, okay, we're going to take a lift back because now we were all full. And, of course, you can't eat at the same time you drink. So you have to do one or the other. And so I said, as dehydrated as we all are, and now we're full, I think we'll just take a lift back. So we had a lift come pick us up. He brings us back to the hotel. Evan and Sarah come up, hang out for a little bit. Then the shuttle is continuously running to the airport. So they just waited for the shuttle to go back to the airport. And then they caught the shuttle and left us. and went back. And me and Natalie,
We hung
there was a
out.
coffee maker in there, and it was a double cup coffee maker.
Which was
So
awesome.
Yeah, so all we did was take a little bouillon cube and put one on each side and slid it back in, and we had broth and
Yeah, so we made some dinner.
yep. And then we ran out of Band-Aids. So the next day when I called a Lyft to come take us to the airport, and I had him swing by CVS on the way. So he did. And we went to CVS, got the Band-Aids.
Yeah, Band-Aids on the airplane.
Yes. Please.
It was not gonna happen. So.
And then we get to the San Diego airport, and we wanted one more broth.
Got there super early.
Yeah, we got there at
were
like
not
11
missing
o'clock.
This plane.
We wanted some kind of soup to sip on, or broth or something like that. And I'm sure there's different options you could probably find, but we had heard about a place called Saffron's. Saffron's is a Thai restaurant, and they're obviously very used to bariatric patients coming in, because when I went to order, I'm standing in line, and there's like one register and another one. Well, nobody's at the other register, so I'm waiting at this one in line. And the woman says, the woman walks up to it, and she's like, "You can come on over here." And before I even say anything, she's like, "You want 2 or 1?" And I'm like, "You're talking about the broth, right?" And she's like, yeah, how many would you like, 2 or 1? And I'm like, I'll take 2. And she's like, "Okay, hang on one second, let me get it for you." So I said, "I'm assuming this is something that you've done before." And she's like, "Yeah, no, this is pretty common." She's like,
Yeah.
"Are you feeling okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm feeling good, feeling
Yeah.
great." My wife too, she feels awesome. It's crazy, because
They're
that just
used
tells
to
you
it.
how many people are going down there. It's
Yeah.
normal. It's not abnormal.
Yeah,
it's
the
normal.
people in the airport know
Yeah.
bariatric patients.
You tell them
when
you
they
tell
see
them on the airport, on the plane too, and like on the way over there, one of our flight stewards, she had the surgery done there.
in Tijuana. Yep.
Yep. And so she had been to Tijuana
And
to
she
have the
was doing
surgery.
great.
She was doing great. Then on the way back, our flight stewardess had not been to have surgery or anything like that, and she just kept saying, "You sure you don't want any food?" And I'm like, "No, I mean, I would love food, but I'm just not at that stage yet, so
Yeah.
I can't satisfy myself with food right now." But it's crazy because I never really wanted anything. I
No.
just wanted to drink stuff to stay hydrated.
Yeah.
Never was really hungry. Luckily, when we got back home, there was a snowstorm coming through, so we at least made it back.
Yeah.
Made it back home. Our friend who picked us up from the airport helped us get our luggage in the house. Natalie's mom's been here helping us for anything we needed. But I would say that you could go down there by yourself and do it. You don't have to
Yeah.
have a companion, but it is helpful. I mean, it's nice to have somebody.
the companion, but it's definitely not needed. Do not feel like you need to bring somebody to go.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's really helpful too to have somebody that's been through it. So, you know, like Billy Zapita, he's gone with a lot of his friends and stuff like that. Makes sense. I mean, he's been through it. He understands it. Sarah, she's been through it.
Knows
She
what to
understands it.
expect.
Yeah. So, it's a pretty awesome experience so far. Now we've been back for 2 weeks. Today is
Yep.
our second week. This is our 2 week surgiversary,
yeah.
and you feel great.
I feel excellent.
I feel great. I do get tired a little bit
I
sometimes.
do. Yeah.
I do stay a little dehydrated, I will say that, but I try to drink. I mean, I'm continuously trying to drink this thing, and you see how much is gone. That was full. This is where I'm at now, right here. And other than that, I mean, just we got off the clear liquids and we moved to puree because we felt like we were ready. Our bodies were ready for it.
Yeah. And I mean, we did cream soups and stuff like that before we moved on to pureed. We didn't just jump over to puree.
Yeah.
And our bodies took to cream soups, no issues. So we slowly started going into puree. Because I know somebody had commented that we had moved pretty quick into puree, which it didn't feel quick, but you know, everybody is different.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I feel fine so
yeah,
far. I mean, and
we've not had any issues whatsoever.
And some of the things that we've been eating, and I know it's going to be really bland and really basic, but this is what we try to stick to. Sugar-free pudding,
Yep.
sugar-free Jell-O, sugar-free popsicles. They kind of help your or your cravings, if you have any. Which I don't really have any cravings, but I think that my main reason that I feel like I bring the sugar in is so that'll hopefully flush me out. Because that is a thing that is not very common. You don't go to the bathroom as much when you first come back.
Yeah.
But we do the Premier Protein shakes. We were able to drink those no problem. We do a ricotta bake, which is just ricotta cheese, or you tell it because you make it.
It's ricotta cheese, it's marinara, it's low-fat mozzarella, it's seasoning, salt and pepper.
Is there an egg in it?
There is an egg in it. And I believe that's it. And then you just bake it. So it's like...
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah.
Natalie throws it together so really fast.
You bake it for like 15 minutes in the oven, but it's kind of a nice change of pace.
And then we've got, we've been doing the pintos and cheese from Taco Bell, or you can just make your own refried beans and stuff here. Yeah. But we just puree everything that we eat. We just recently got some chili from Campbell's, like a Campbell's soup thing. Pureed it. It was fine. It went down fine. Cottage cheese.
Yeah, we have a low-fat cottage cheese we eat. It's really good.
Is it low-fat or sugar-free yogurt? No. Something like that?
It's low-fat.
Is it? Okay.
Cottage cheese. It's 1%.
No, not the cottage cheese, the yogurt. What are we doing?
Oh, it's...
I can't remember. But it's a healthy yogurt. So we did that. And then also...
It had 12 grams of protein or something in it, too.
And so we do that, and then we also did Gene Pro at first, but now we're fixing to start using Unjury. And you put the Unjury, it's unflavored whey protein. You put it in your stuff because you got to get 90 grams of protein in a day. You need to get 900 calories in per day. And so that's the tough part is getting all that stuff in because
when you're in the pureed stage, it's hard to get protein in. Other than the drinks.
I like to drink a lot of G2 Gatorade too.
Yeah,
when I can.
You wouldn't think it, but it is a struggle to get your protein in every day.
And I will say this though too is like I really, really, truly feel that when you come back from surgery, it is when you wake up in the morning till you go to bed at night, you got to be drinking water or fluids and eating almost all day long.
All day long.
To get your protein in because you're like, okay, wake up in the morning, drink 8 to 16 ounces of water. Then have a meal, a small meal 30 minutes later. All right?
Yeah.
And it's going to take you about 30 minutes.
And 30 minutes after. You cannot drink anything between your meals.
Yeah. And it's going to take you like 30 minutes just to drink the water.
Yeah.
It's not, it doesn't go fast.
Your day is based on what you're eating and drinking throughout the day.
So you're doing 8 to 16 ounces of water. 30 minutes later, you're going to drink a protein shake, which is what we do.
You can have a meal.
30 minutes later, have a small meal. Well, all your meals are small, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But try to get a high protein packed meal. Then 30 minutes later, you're drinking, 8 to 16 ounces meal, 8 to 16 ounces protein shake, 8 to 16 ounces meal, 8 to 16 ounces protein shake, 8 to 16 ounces another meal, and then that should be it for the day.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot because it is a lot. You're constantly having to do it.
It's a lot because you can only take so much in at one time. So it's not like you can chug. I used to be able to do 8 to 16 ounces of water in 10 to 15 minutes.
I can do it in 30 seconds.
Yeah. Nah.
Turn up.
But I can't do that anymore. So it is all I can do to get that 8 to 16 ounces in so I can cut it back to where it's not 30 minutes into my lunchtime.
Yeah.
So, it's you're eating or drinking all day long. Yeah.
It's something you just have to get used to at first. And like a lot of people ask us, so what are you doing? How are you doing it? That's it. That is exactly what we're doing. We're just making it happen. We're no experts. We're just two people who are doing it together. And
we're trying to do the best that we can.
Trying to do best, yeah. So
we're
that's all I can.
Follow the guidelines.
Yeah. And that's what we've done. We followed the guidelines of him. Now, like I said, we're going to be talking to our friend who's basically a nutritionist because doctors are not taught nutrition. So that's not a thing for doctors. I don't. If you've heard that is, I apologize. Most nutritionists are self-taught people. We have a good friend named Randy Olson. He's a nutritionist. I would say he's a nutritionist. He knows a lot about it. Talked to my chiropractor today. He's going to come on the show soon.
Good deal.
He just told me to let him know. He would love to come on and talk to everybody about what the weight does to your body and it does to your frame and your bones and stuff like that, and why it's important to get it off. So, you know, we're so thankful and excited for the future, and just can't wait to see where this is all going to go. And we just want to say thank you all for the support, and thank you all for listening. And
we appreciate
again,
it.
don't forget, if you have any questions, you can message us. If it's a female only question, you can hit Natalie on the inbox. For Gmail, it is, so our name is super long, The Losers Bench with Chris and Natalie. You would be surprised that you can't fit all that into a email name. So what I had to do is it's TLB, The Losers Bench, WCAN. So TLB WCAN at gmail.com.
So it's an acronym.
It's an acronym. And it's super long. And maybe at some point, maybe we'll come up with a better name for the show and we'll change it. It'll be shorter. But I had this weird idea in my head that I was like, the more people that follow us, I'm just going to start calling them losers. Because that's what we are. We're losers. It's like the first time in your life you can be called a loser, and it's a good thing.
It is a good feeling to be a loser.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good feeling to be on the losers bench, and we welcome all the losers to join us.
Yes.
And
come one, come all.
Yeah, come on, listen to us and follow along, and let us help you, and you help us, and you know, we're excited. So thank you for listening, and we hope you have a wonderful day, and we look forward to bringing you many more episodes in the future.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yep. All right, good night, everybody.
All right, thanks.